Aces Wild, Red Sky's Dawn, Episode 9.
So the gang is all split up. The girls, God be safe, jumped into the bushes, and Chase just punched Chance in the face. Where in the heck do we go from here?
Arriving in Durnville, Chase's first stop was at the sheriff's office. But it wasn't to check the bounty board. Chase went into the office alone, but when he left the behemoth, Red Sky was at his side. Chase's visit to Nocona consisted of more than just pleasantries. The chief agreed to pay Red Sky's bond, while also allowing him back into the reserve. But in exchange, Red Sky had to return to the Comanche way of life and help Chase reclaim his home. Maybe it was the stint of sobriety. Maybe it was the fact that he was mere days from heading to prison. Or maybe it was his chance to regain respect with his tribe. Chase didn't know what made Red Sky agree, just that he did, and that he would have to watch him closely. After boarding Nessie for the night at the corral, the pair headed out of town towards the setting sun. From here, they proceeded on foot to Chase's home. Being a new moon night made circling the property without being spotted easier. After taking in all the possible ingress points, it was decided that a head-on approach was the best bet. Anywhere else, they would have to deal with crossing the fence, something that would alert any lookouts to their ill intent. There were a dozen or so horses about, leading them to believe there would be as many men. Chase recognized a couple of the horses as belonging to McGregor and Cooper. Surely they would stand on guard more vigilant after the earlier affairs. The plan they settled on was a simple one, Chase's favorite kind. In the morning, they would approach the house as if they were there to talk. When they got in close, they would ambush anyone awake and outside. Then they'd move to clear out the house. Casualties weren't seen as warranted, but they were accepted as a possible outcome. Chase and Red Sky approached the homestead as the sun rose, across a low-lying fog hovering in the field. Walking through the eerie mist, they stayed as quiet as possible, hearts pounding. The house sat in silence. Horses meandered around outside. Chase's mind was abuzz with all the things that could happen. Upon approach, he began to think they might make it all the way to the door before being spotted.
Maybe everyone's out cold. Maybe this will be easier than we imagined.
The thought, however, was interrupted. Cracking open the front door, one of McGregor's men stepped out to relieve himself. Chase and Red Sky froze. After peeing off the front stoop, he turned. Chase and Red Sky had ducked into the mist, but something caught his eye and he looked deeper. Drawing one hand to his brow, he peered, while the other went to his pistol. Spotting the men, he yelled out,
"Hey, this is McGregor land. You best be getting out of here."
We just want to talk about some work.
Chase called back, standing up, acting like there was nothing haphazard about the two of them.
"You want work, you go to the mine. Ain't nothing here."
Swinging the front door open, a second man stepped out. It was one of McGregor's right-hand men this time.
What's going on out that's Chase McCoy, moron. Get him.
Screaming, he reached back inside for his rifle. Red Sky War cried, charging the man with the pistol. Shooting, the man missed as Red Sky retired him with a tomahawk. A rifle drew towards Chase as he pulled his six to duel, but neither got off a shot. From the east, a Comanche struck the rifleman broadside with an arrow. Inching towards the house, Comanches started appearing from all around. Two popped up through the fog and entered through side windows, while two more made their way through the front door. Red Sky followed. Marching forward, Chase heard screams and Comanche war cries echoing. The first man to come out running attempted to pull iron, but Chase shot him dead. Standing in wait with his pistol on the door, Chase watched as the next men came out, hands above their heads. Guiding them through the doorway at gun and arrow point were Comanche warriors.
Get your horses and get out of here. You tell McGregor there ain't nothing but trouble here anymore. This is my home, and any unwelcome visitors will be met with lead. No questions asked. Now go.
Defeated, McGregor's men mounted up, trotting their way from the property. But not before one brave soul attempted to save face. Unannounced to his Comanche escort, one of McGregor's men managed to draw a long-barreled pistol in Chase's direction. Being caught completely by surprise, he was slow to react. Eyes widened as Chase stared towards his ill-awaited fate, thinking he was surely doomed as the attacker began to pull the trigger. But at the last second, A lone shot rang out from the distant butte, catching the man square in the temple. Chase could barely gather his composure as the rest of McGregor's men continued on their way. Rallying with the other Comanche, Red Sky showed happiness to see his people. As they talked amongst each other, Chase sought out Chief Nocona to thank him for his help. He also inquired into further aid against McGregor and his men.
You helped our brother set foot on a righteous path, and for that we are grateful. But as for this McGregor, this is the white man's fight. I'm afraid we cannot help you further.
Red Sky heard the two talking and approached the chief. After exchanging words in their native tongue, the chief turned back to Chase.
Red Sky feels he owes you the debt of honor. He will stay and help you in your fight if you will let him.
Chase nodded, looking at Red Sky, who took his place by the white man's side. Breaking off, the other Comanche headed for home.
One more thing. Who was that sharpshooter?
Turning around, the chief stated,
That was not our man.
Leaning in, another Comanche spoke to the chief's ear. Looking towards the butte, Nocona pointed.
2 dark-haired women were seen on the bridge. One of them took the shot.
Chase glanced up. There was no one there now, but he knew it was Belle who saved his life. Digging through the thicket, the girls startled the waiting horses, indicating them as to the whereabouts of McGregor's carriage. Tatsuo spotted it first. Walking up, she flung open the door, grabbing the shotgun from within. Looking back, her eyes met Belle.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna go meet the boys in Durnville.
The boys in Durnville? McGregor is looking for us. We're in his carriage. We'll never make it to Durnville.
We'll make it, but we can't take the carriage. So we're leaving it here and we're taking the horses.
Those horses aren't even saddled.
We gotta go bareback, Tat. It's the only way.
Bareback? I can barely ride. You want me to go bareback?
Her frantic mood caused a slight commotion as she remained oblivious, thinking over the next steps. Belle noticed Jack cowering nearby, witnessing every moment of his mother's unease. It did little to soothe his fears.
Tat,
Belle said, as Jack joined Tatsuo, clinging to her side and looking scared. Attempting to gain composure, Tatsuo realized her own fright scared her son.
You're right. We can do this. I'll search the coach. You ready the horses.
While Belle untethered the 2 horses, Tatsuo went into the carriage, her eyes blurred with tears. After allowing herself a moment to decompress, she removed a clutch from her satchel, the clutch Belle gave her the day before. Touching up her makeup, she placed it back in her bag, next to the only other thing she thought to bring, her sketch pad. Seeing it, she started to tear up again. Shaking it off, she commenced searching the coach. There were a few shells, a pocket knife, flint, and a flask. She added them all to her bag. Around the back of the wagon sat a trunk that gave a little more luck. Enthusiastically, she gathered up a couple of lanterns, a small bundle of kindling, a pot, a canteen, blankets, a change of clothes, and a cowboy hat. Carrying the stuff over to Belle, she set it down, feeling a little more encouraged.
Tat, honey, we're going bareback. We can use the blankets on the horses and anything that'll fit in your satchel. The canteen you can sling over your shoulder, but the rest we gotta leave behind.
Damn it.
Grabbing what she could carry, she made her way back to the carriage. Throwing the arms full of stuff inside, she then climbed in herself. A few minutes later, she came out wearing a black duster, red shirt, and the cowboy hat. Turning around, she did something hidden and then slammed the door.
You ready now?
Belle asked as she placed the blankets on the horses.
I'm ready.
Tatsuo said with a smirk, as smoke started billowing from the carriage behind her.
Well, I guess we better get a move on.
Tatsuo stuffed all she could, including the dress Belle gave her, into her satchel. It looked like it would burst at the seams. Belle helped Tatsuo onto her horse and set Jack in front. Unloading the shotgun, she handed it to Jack, who laid it across his lap.
We'll take it slow,
she said, looking back towards the fire, shaking her head as she climbed onto her mare, rifle slung over her shoulder. The start of their travels was a bumpy one. Belle obviously rode bareback before, But she wasn't accustomed to this horse or the horse to her. It took some time to get a rhythm. It took Tatsuo longer. Honey did her best to help steer the horses, keeping them straight on the trail. Jack stayed quiet for the most part. When they'd stop for breaks in water, he'd toss a stick for Honey. She chased it and played keep away. Jack tried to use Chase's
"Drop it"
command, but Honey apparently only took orders from Chase. 2 women, a boy, and a dog made for an interesting group on the trail. Tatsuo tried her best to be in disguise. From a distance, it worked too, hair tucked under her hat, wearing cowboy duds. But up close, there was no denying that she was a lady. Soft, smooth female complexion, makeup, lady bumps. She wouldn't fool more than a quick passerby. Luckily, that's all they had to deal with on the trail up to this point. Only having gathered a few awkward stares till now, things were going oddly well. Tatsuo caught on to riding bareback more and more, and Jack seemed to be enjoying himself bit by bit. All seemed fine until a little after they passed the sign to Dry Creek. The first hint that something started to go wrong was Honey's growl. It was just a low rumble, but obviously, something had her on guard. Then shortly they could hear a man cussing?
"Sally, you stupid horse, get back here." Ow, holy mother of... I know it frickin' hurts. It hurts me too.
The man was heard stating as a nag neighed in distress. The ladies approached to see a gentleman stumbling, calling to his horse. He wore a fashionable blue suit with a white hanky sticking out of his pocket. It was a suit that Belle was familiar with.
Mr. Dumas? Is that you?
Belle, my dear, am I glad to see you.
What on earth is going on?
Some men blew by here like bats out of Hades. They startled me, startled my horse, and, well, we both ended up in that cactus over there. I've been chasing her around for hours.
What did these men look like?
Well, they looked a lot like you, dear.
Mr. Dumas said oddly, realizing that this woman was dressed just like the men who nearly crashed into him earlier.
Anyone else?
Tatsuo asked, describing Chance and Chase.
No one like that, dear.
Climbing off the horses, Belle offered the man assistance.
Well, let's get you cleaned up and see if we can get that horse calmed down. So where are you heading to?
To see you. Well, not in particular. That would be odd. I was on my way into town, to the saloon.
Mr. Dumas remained quite the regular at the Diamond Saloon, coming in every couple of days, sporting his blue suit. He was particularly fond of Belle, always calling her his favorite lady. Belle helped Mr. Dumas remove some cactus needles from his back and shoulder, while Tatsuo and Jack worked with the mare. It was a beautiful sand-colored horse, and also very irate. Jack seemed to have a knack for calming the beast, though. Approaching slowly, he gained its trust. Eventually, he could pet Sally, while Tatsuo removed a good number of the needles from her. Once Sally was fully settled and feeling less pain, they were able to lead her to Mr. Dumas.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's no problem. I'm glad we came along. No telling how long you would have been chasing that one. We better be getting on now, though. Gotta get to Durnville before dark.
Durnville, huh? Well, you ladies have a safe trip,
Mr. Dumas said, tousling Jack's hair.
And again, thanks for the help there. Sally really seems to like you.
Then he reached to pet Honey, who just growled her overprotective growl. Belle helped Tatsuo and Jack back onto their horse and then climbed onto her own.
You, have fun at the saloon.
Well, it won't be nearly as fun without you there,
he called as they rode off. Luckily, the rest of the trip to Durnville continued onward, uneventfully. As they rode through town, Belle became shocked at how run down everything looked. It was a sight far from that of Cooper. Men leered and catcalled her from the city boardwalks. Meanwhile, Tatsuo remembered a time when Copperton looked this good, before it plummeted into a total disaster. She felt sorry knowing what awaited these folks. Making way to the general store, Belle went in while Tatsuo kept watch.
Hello, ma'am. What brings you in today?
Well, we just got into town and have a hankering for some jerky. Maybe a little dried fruit. Nothing needs cooking.
Just got into town, huh?
The clerk asked while putting together a sack.
What brings you to Durnville?
Thinking off the top, Belle came up empty.
Why didn't we come up with a story? We're here to visit a friend, Mr. McCoy.
Oh, yeah, Chase McCoy. Good fella. Owns that place just west of town. My spread he's got out there. Ain't seen him around town lately, though. Sure hope you didn't come all this way for nothing.
We've got arrangements. He'll be there. Well, what I owe ya?
Let's call it 10 cents.
The storekeeper said, handing Belle the sack. Back outside, Belle couldn't help but notice that Tatsuo looked uneasy.
What's wrong, Tat?
All these people keep staring, like they've never seen Chinese before.
I don't think it's because you're Chinese. Come on, let's get out of here.
Making their way through town, Belle also noticed the watchful eyes. She was used to leering gentlemen from the saloon, but this felt different. Something made her uneasy. Riding out of town, west towards the lake, Belle kept looking back over her shoulder. She wanted to make sure that the uneasy feeling was the only thing following her. Coming to a fence line along the road, Tatsuo beckoned for Belle's attention.
Hey, look!
There hung a sign on the fence post to the left.
This property has been seized by local officials. No trespassing. McGregor.
And sure enough, in the distance stood some of McGregor's men. But what really caught Belle's eye was the sign below McGregor's, carved out in wood, crossed out with black paint.
McCoy's place.
They found it.
Come on. Before they notice, let's get to the lake. Maybe the boys are there.
Belle said, trotting off. Reaching the lake just before dusk, they realized the boys were nowhere in sight. Working together, they gathered some twigs, leaves, and pine cones. Using the flint from the carriage, they managed to start a small fire. After a snack, Belle laid out a bedroll while Tatsuo went and sat on the lake's edge. Belle could only imagine the thoughts that raced through her head. Having abandoned her home, being chased by McGregor who wanted her boy, not knowing where Chance was, and being angry that his drinking and gambling had magnified the whole ill situation. It seemed best to leave her alone for now. Jack tried his best to be useful by helping Belle make camp. They tended to the horses and worked to make things as comfortable as possible. But Jack kept looking over towards his mom.
What's Mama doing?
Oh, I think she's just watching the sunset.
I'm gonna go watch too.
How about you and Honey go find some more sticks for the fire? Don't go too far, though. Stay where one of us can see you.
Belle's suspicions were right about Tatsuo. She felt exactly as imagined. Worried about Chance, not only his whereabouts, but also his bouts of drinking. She thought about her dad running away and then having to leave her mom. She stayed scared as to what McGregor had in store for Jack. The world felt like it was closing in on her, and she had no place to go anymore, no place to call home. Sitting on the shoreline, she stewed in a whirlpool of emotions. Back by the fire, Belle sat with her thoughts as well. Everything happened so fast. Not just the running away, but the whole ordeal.
What am I doing here? I barely know this man.
In the fleeting moment of the saloon drama, she felt a sense of responsibility to help Chase and the others escape. Now, she felt a sense of responsibility to keep watch over Tatsuo and Jack. But she still couldn't figure out how she ended up here of all places, waiting on the first man she had feelings for in the 5 years since the passing of her husband. Sitting there thinking. Her eyes got heavy. Every time they closed, she forced them back open to look at Tatsuo and Jack. Jack loved that dog. The two played there in the distance. Jack threw sticks. Honey grabbed them and tempted Jack to chase her. Watching them was joyous. Belle wished for the innocence of a child as her eyes closed one more time. She fell fast asleep, a deep, heavy sleep. In fact, too deep of a sleep to dream. Too deep of a sleep to hear the approaching footsteps creeping across the leaves. A twig snap finally woke her. It was pitch black now. She could still hear Jack and Honey playing, even further away now.
Tatsuo? Is that you?
Nothing but rustling leaves.
Hello? Who's there?
Why, it's me, my dear,
said a figure stepping into the light of the fire.
Mr. Dumas? What on earth are you doing here?
I couldn't let you travel all this way alone, dear. I had to make sure you were safe.
You followed us all the way here?
Of course I followed you, dear. After all, it is Tuesday, our special day together. It just wouldn't be right to spend the night without you.
Mr. Dumas replied, closing in and kneeling by the fire. Leaning back, Belle saw his familiar ogle. She never thought much of it before. But tonight there lurked an intent behind it. And he was right. He'd been into the saloon every Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday.
Oh my God,
she thought, only getting out a partial scream as he covered her mouth and flung a leg over her, attempting to kiss her neck.
Now, dear, let's not ruin our special evening. We both want this.
Reaching his free hand down her riding pants, he used his legs to spread hers. Then, as he fumbled about, trying to position himself, a finger slipped, and Belle nearly bit it off. Wrenching in pain, he sat up, grabbing his hand, but his pain was far from over. Belle kneed him in the groin as hard as she could. Mr. Dumas fell on his tail end, and Belle began to back up.
You bitch! You little tease! You're always playing a game of hard to get.
You're crazy,
Belle yelled as Mr. Dumas charged at her, continuing to scream while backing up with her hands and feet. Belle could hear Honey barking in the distance, each bark getting closer. Mr. Dumas lunged for Belle, but she had backed up to her rifle. Drawing it up from the ground, she fired. In the mayhem, she missed. Glancing over his shoulder as if he watched the bullet pass, Mr. Dumas looked back with fire in his eyes. But before he could take one more step, a hand reached from behind, slitting his neck with a pocket knife. When he fell, there stood Tatsuo. Honey quickly followed behind her. Going straight to Belle, Honey seemed remorseful that she wasn't nearby when the attack happened. Belle sat on the ground, disheveled and scared, petting her.
Mama, 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 Mama!
Jack ran for the camp. Having heard the shot, Honey's barks, and the screams, he feared the worst.
It's okay, Jack.
Tatsuo called back as she grabbed one of the blankets and tossed it over Mr. Dumas's lifeless body.
Let's go play by the lake.
Stopping Jack short of the camp, Tatsuo guided him away from the site. Getting up, Belle dusted off and spit on the blanket-covered man. She then began to pack up camp. Walking the horses over to the lakeshore, she sat down by Tatsuo. Throwing her arm over her shoulder, she held her tight. Honey lay beside the two while Jack skipped stones. After sitting for some time, Belle looked at Tatsuo.
Let's go.
Go where?
To find the boys.
Then, in the dark, Belle, Tatsuo, Jack, and Honey made their way back toward town. They kept walking through the darkness, mostly wandering. Belle felt no desire to sit and wait out the night. At dawn, they hitched the horses to climb the butte overlooking McCoy's place. There they sat and watched, and Belle took the shot that saved Chase's life.
Oh, Belle, no, that was too close. And that shot, it's been quite the ride, hasn't it? I wonder, do you miss the saloon?